And hello, what's going on, folks? Here we are. It's already Thursday. I can't believe it. Only one more week of video a day, Debruary, and then I'm free of you people. Oh, this has been really, this has been pretty exhausting. I guess I'm getting old. I keep saying it because, stuff is affecting me more and more. Last year, this seemed a lot easier than it is this year. But anyway, we're doing it. We're doing it big. Got great topics for you for our final week of video a day, Debruary. And we're starting tonight with something that I think is very important for a lot of women, especially. We've been kind of touching on this through some of the advice letters that have been coming through the column the last, oh, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months, in reference to relationships between daughters and their mothers. And we actually did a show some months ago on toxic mothers, but this is different because that was talking specifically about the mothers and their toxic patterns or whatever. In this show, we're going to be talking about how your mother impacted you, whether it was for the good or, for the negative. But what things did you learn from your mother? What things did you take with you from that relationship? Things that may still be affecting you, things that help form you into the woman that you are today, whether negative or positive. So it's kind of an overall view of the relationship between mothers and daughters, and not just talking, solely about the toxic ones. So make sure my mic's in the right spot. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So I want to explain the difference because a couple of people had pointed out to me, well, you already did a show on mothers and daughters. It's like, well, yeah, but you got to realize now I'm over 500 videos going on 550, and each topic is different. Can you believe it? Each one of those is addressing a different subject. Even if they're some sound somewhat similar, there's a different avenue that I went down. And I was looking, I kind of scrolling through the videos, looking at all of them, just kind of amazed. It's like, ooh, I have a lot to say, don't I? So anyway, those of you who just got here, you're gonna need some Kleenex. Oh, this for those of you who just wandered in, you're in the Depsterism channel, streaming simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch.tv. My little gamers, the little youngsters over there, and the more mature crowd over here on YouTube. But everybody has something to learn from this. So let's get started. I think one of the first things I want to do is kind of lay the foundation because, reading some research reports, and from what they say, the mother daughter relationship is the strongest parent child bond that there is because there's, father daughter, there's mother son, and there's father son. So out of those four unions, the mother daughter relationship has been scientifically researched to be the strongest relationship and the one with the most, so we say, influential power, because a girl is going to be learning so much from her mother, how to be a woman, how to be in the world, not only like hygiene things, we have to learn those kind of things, beauty tips, how to, manners and conduct, and of course the speaking, and I mean all the stuff they teach you when you're a little toddler, but that's for boys and girls. But also what we're learning from our mother that I think a lot of people don't really realize is you're learning how to stand up for yourself or not, how to view men and interact with them, the importance of men. All this is based on how you watching your mother. You're watching how your mother interacts with men. And it also, your relationship with your mother is also teaching you how to love, just not only other people, but yourself. And if there's problems in that relationship, and I have 12 avenues, 12 areas where it seems to be most of the problems that I could think of anyway fit within these 12 realms of contention, shall we call it. Um, of course, no woman is perfect, no mother is perfect, even though we all vow when we were growing up, Oh, I'm not going to be like my mother. She's crazy. She does this, she does that. Gets on my freaking nerves. When I have kids, I'm not going to do, meh, meh, meh. We all say that. And yet, the older we get, the more women have told me, oh my God, I find, I saying these things, it sounds like my mother. Or I'm doing this and that just like how my mother used to do. It's really funny. I'm thinking that sometimes when we see our mother being this overly sacrificing type, we think that's what we're supposed to do too. So that's where you get the syndromes where women are being overly dependent, codependent on men, and just giving too much, and taking care of their kids too much, and taking care of grown men too much. It's an awful, awful, awful pattern. So, like I always say, what we do here on this show is I never tell you what to do. I'll tell you what to do. What I do is give you the tools to examine your own patterns, your own behavior, your own attitudes, and your own belief systems, and then to compare what those are with the results you're getting. And if those two are not matching up, like for the effort and energy that you put in, you're getting negative results or no results at all, then I would think that you, being an intelligent enough woman to find your way to this channel, would understand that that means that you need to make some changes. Now, if you come back and say, "Well, I've thought about it and I want to make a change in this particular area. This is where I'm struggling. Deb, can you give me some tips?" I will be happy to do that because you've already done the work. You've done the work, but you want me to sit here and think of all the stuff for you. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I did? It made us to 16 grand? Whoa! We only got to 15, like, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago? So picking up speed. You guys are doing a great job of getting people to share the videos and to like the videos and to sign up as subscribers. My team is solid. Look at that. I didn't even know. I haven't checked it for a couple of days. Well, yay me. This is too funny. So let me go over some of the ways. Oh, let's see. Somebody said something before I forget. I just want to sincerely thank you for your videos. They have and continue to improve my life immensely. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. That's why I do what I do. Yes, thank you, reader. Well, we're going to talk about that, Miss Fuller. That's one of the things on my list. She says that her mother was jealous of her own daughter. That's actually the top thing on my list, the number one thing. Yeah, because my goal is to make it to 25,000 by August, by my birthday. And we just made, I don't know if we're going to make it to that, but we're off to a good start. I'll put it that way because this is just February. All right, so let me go over the list of the 12 things that we're going to be talking about. Then I have some slides to show you. As a matter of fact, let me cue them up now because I will forget. All right. Number one, you got a jealous and competitive relationship. It's like you're Snow White and your mama is that witch, who's the fairest of them all, and she was all happy until Snow White hit puberty, and then the mirror said, "Oh, well, you're not the fairest no more. Now it's Snow White." And notice how she got all jealous. Those of you who remember that, she gave her the poison apple and sent her away in the forest to live in a thing until somebody broke the spell on her. That hag was jealous, and it's the same kind of thing that so many young girls experience with their mother. But we're going to be going into that in a little bit. Number two, you have a relationship with your mother that's full of criticism and ridicule. Number three, your mother is extremely controlling. Number four, your mother is abusive. Number five is what I call the ninja assassin relationship. I'll explain that to you, but it's like, she got these stealth moves and she hits you where it hurts when you least expect it. You're not looking for it. Number six, your mama is dismissive. Number seven, there's some improper boundaries in your relationship. Number eight, the roles are reversed. She's the kid and you're the parent. Number nine, you guys are like best friends. That's a no no in Deb's book, and I'll tell you why. Number 10, your mother is full of regrets and blame. Number 11, you have what is called a closed family relationship. You've all heard that phrase where they say what happens in this house stays in this house. I will explain to you how dangerous that is for young girls. And then my last one is what I call checked out parents. These are people that are like in jail, they drug addicts, they alcoholics, they're your mother's always so busy chasing the latest dick she don't have time for you. Those are the parents that are checked out. They're checked out of being mothers, they're checked out. I don't know where they are. Nobody knows where they are. We've all been looking for them. And we're nowhere to be found. Okay, so let's go and let me show you these slides. What these are I pulled these from my Facebook page. I asked women to share some of their what they've been going through with their mother or how she influenced them, whether positive or negative. Just a little quick view into their relationship and with their mother and what they think she brought to their life. All right, so let me get you guys going on this. Now there's no sound, just the music, but I want you to just take a look at this. And there you go. You know, uh, she's young, and I guess she reads faster than we do. Cause I'm looking at this, and I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing? Speed reading. So my apologies for that. I didn't have time to slow it, to test it and know to slow it down. But that's pretty funny. But if you decide that you do want to actually read the slides, the ones that have more text on them, that is,
And
uh,
there you go.
feel free to
You know,
listen to it
uh,
again and uh, pause pause the video. I'm so thrown off right now. This is too funny. Um, but that's that was those slides. So as you saw, those women sharing their little glimpses of their life into their relationships with their own mothers, and just a few little things that kind of give you an idea of where they're coming from and what kind of things they took with them from their childhood and teen years into adulthood based on their relationship um, with their mother. What was my mother like? Well, I've talked about her a lot. She died. It's been a little over a year now, and she was, and I don't even know how to describe her. She's very, very smart, very creative. She taught me to sew and some cooking stuff. She wasn't really that great of a cook. I think I'm a better cook than she is. But I learned how to do a lot of different styles of cooking once I went off to school in Texas. But she taught me to sew and knit and crochet. And the sewing I later used, like I was telling you guys, for a little business venture while I was still in high school, and I made a lot of money, making clothes for people, and not just clothes, but I mean all kind of stuff. And she was our Girl Scout leader, and she was, very adventurous. She would take us on camping trips, and, she would sign me up for backpacking and stuff like that, make sure I had everything I needed to be successful. Dance classes, music. Like, she was very, into the like middle class lifestyle, and then she taught me how to dress nicely and match my clothes and talk to people and have couth and etiquette and sit with my legs crossed like a young lady and um, she wasn't one. She was a very quiet person, but she wasn't one to take no mess. I told you guys the other day how she checked my father when he started trying to come in the house and tell my brother that he could be off of punishment. Oh no, all 5 foot 2 inches of her was all up in his face, telling him about himself. And they were funny together. I mean, they used to have some arguments. I'm not saying it was perfect every second, but she always stood her own and she did it with such grace. I never heard my mother use a word of profanity. I'm more like my daddy on that tip. I cuss everybody out. But she never, my entire life, I've never heard her even say damn, hell, unless she was talking about heaven and, that kind of stuff. She was just a very um, interesting person. What happened to somebody? Somebody accidentally booted out popcorn? Oh no. Yeah, that was sad because it was very sudden. We didn't really uh, plan to have it. She wasn't like sick or nothing. It just happened. And so it caught us all off guard. I mean, when people are sick, you used to have a time to start grieving. It was just one day she was there and the next day she wasn't, and that was that. Oh, she's back. Okay, popcorn's back. Oh, good. All right. Vanessa was getting happy on the boot out button. So let's talk about now that you've seen some examples. A lot of those slides were examples of some of the stuff I'm about to be talking about. And, you guys can think about whether this applies to you in your life or you recognize any of these behaviors in your mother and in your relationship with your mother. And maybe think about, how has this affected me long term? And is this something that I might need some help getting over with? Because, my goal here is to have everybody living their best life. And you can't do it if you're saddled down with baggage from the past and stuff that's making you feel bad about yourself, question and doubt yourself. feel like you're not good enough, you don't measure up, you feel unlovable. All these kind of things are damaging emotions that you can experience at the hands of these types of mothers. So let me go over my list of 12 things. I gave you the titles, but now I'm going to give you some examples and explain what each one means. Okay, if you have a jealous and competitive relationship with your mother, basically what it means is that you can never be better than her. That's what that means. So, however she's going to communicate that to you, that's what she's going to do. When you talk about your career, your education, your accomplishments, the travels that you've been on, exciting things that you've done, she's going to be like, oh, just making sure that you know that she does not think that she's not impressed with what you're talking about. She may even start talking about or change the subject and start bringing up usually it's some bum brother that she's taking care of, have taken care of, who's now nowhere near on your level. But he did like this one thing, right? And she gonna talk about this one thing that he did in comparison with the 900 wonderful things that you've done. Well, yes, but it's good that you did that, but your brother used to be the quarterback for his high school football. He was such a star. Look at all those trophies he won. So see, she gonna take the focus off of you and your accomplishments and talking about your dusty ass brother and that one good thing he's done in his entire life. Okay, that's what they usually do. Um, Basically, these mothers are very insecure and they're very envious of you. If you get great grades in school, she's gonna put that down. She's like, be like, well, the standards for that school must be really low if you could get A's there, that kind of stuff. And normal parents would be like, "Oh my God, my baby got an A." They taking a picture of it, they posting it up on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff for all your A's, and you grinning, and parents grinning. Everybody's up. Not these parents. They gonna find a way to put it down and negate it in some kind of way. If you have, little boys start expressing an interest in you, then suddenly the only reason that they're doing that is because you must put out. You must be a slut because they otherwise, why would they be interested in you? Because you're nothing. That's your mother. Wow. Okay, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Is it a mental illness? That's a good question. I don't think so. They're perfectly sane. Do I know your mother? I hope not the way she acting like that. Because my tongue. I don't want to be cussing out nobody's mama, but that's what happen. Um, wow. But you're all successful. That's yeah, because you didn't let it stop you. That's good for you, Queen. Good for you. See, a lot of women just, I'm going to talk about that. A lot of women, I mean, the weight of this kind of relationship crushes them, and they never do anything better. They never even try to just give up. Like, so then if you, have friends, right? You bring your friends, you spend time with your friends. This is a normal teenage girl thing. Well, she's going to try to put that down like, suddenly you care more about your friends than you do your own family. And what kind of person are you? So, to induce guilt and to make you feel bad about enjoying yourself and having a good time with some people who are on a par with you intellectually, socially, and chronologically. She want to put it down and make you feel bad about it. If they tend to make snide and snarky comments about your youth, your beauty, your sense of humor, your friends, your career, any goals that you may have, the freedom that you have, your boyfriend and or husband that you may have, your lifestyle that you live in, any kind of way that she can put it down and make you feel like it's not that great and wonderful like you feel like it is, she's going to take that opportunity. A lot of these women are so competitive and jealous that these are the mothers that be trying to get at your boyfriend, right? You 19, 18, 19, 20 years old, you might have a boyfriend that's a few years old or so, and then here's your mother. Now, if you had a mother who had a baby, had you when she was like 15 or 16, the difference in age is not going to be, you know what I mean? I mean, she's still going to be kind of young and still look good. And these women have this issue when they start losing attention from men, they want to still get it, and so they will start like being in competition with you over your boyfriend. Likewise, if they have a boyfriend who starts trying to get at you, which is another component of this, they're going to try to be blaming you for that. You may see some of these mothers, they wearing hot pants and skimpy halters and cleavage out kind of clothes and stuff when they know your boyfriend's coming over. Whereas before they had on some raggedy house dress. As soon as she find out he's coming over, she gonna run and put on her most nakedest clothes. And yeah, whatever you do, they just want to communicate that they're not impressed with what you're doing. And they may even put you down even further by saying that you're too proud, you're too haughty, you think you all that. So then they put you on the defensive where you say, "No, I'm not, Mom. I'm not. I don't think that." All right. So that's number one, the jealous, competitive relationship with your mother. Number two, really? Dang, Miss Full Roller. You guys had to check out the chat with what she just said. Ooh. Number two, the critical relationship full of ridicule. Now, when you have this kind of mother, you get into reach adulthood, well, your older teens and your adulthood with some toe up self esteem. This could be why there's like this epidemic of it. I don't really know. It's probably a combination of things, but this is a problem because, like I said, a girl, is modeling herself after, what she sees. If her mom's real hardworking and diligent and all this kind of stuff, she will tend to be the same way. Not necessarily, but she will tend to be. Any way that this woman can make you feel less, she's gonna do it. She gonna mock your weight. Say things like, are you sure you should be eating that? Your makeup, you look like a clown. Your hair, why don't you do something with your head? That natural hair ain't for everybody. That kind of stuff. Some of these women talk about how their mother makes a difference and she got kids that have different skin tones and hair texture. Like she had a kid with a white guy or something, Mexican or whatever. She's going to, make a difference between the kids based on their skin color and hair texture and stuff. And of course, attacking the one who doesn't, is not the light skinned one. And so it causes some real problems and resentment. um, any imperfection that you have, she's going to try to mock you and shame you for it. Some parents do this kind of thing where they, like, say, if a child is slew footed or bow legged or something, they start walking around like them. When the girl's already sensitive about this particular imperfection, and then here you go mock them, and especially do it in front of other people. Um, if you get all A's and one B, she gonna go on and on about how it wasn't perfect, it wasn't good enough, because you should have got all A's, and how you was lazy and you slacking off and you not putting forth your full effort. I mean, this all this attack. Whereas most of the other parents, 99% of parents would be like, "Oh my God, my kid got all A's and one B. Let's go out to dinner. Let's have a party. Let's go to Disneyland." But not this one. It's gonna not be good enough. And when don't wait, and then when you have kids, it's gonna really be on. You don't know what you're doing. You're not holding that baby right. You're not feeding that baby right. Why don't you do something to that baby's hair? Why that baby wearing that? Why you put your kids in all them raggedy clothes? If your house is dirty, now see, and this is the kind of thing I saw my mother-in-law do this. Came from a personal experience. She didn't actually say anything. No words came out of her mouth. But what she did was, she's thinking, like she's acting like she's looking at the books and stuff on the shelf. You know how people looking at the titles, and then she took this thing and she ran it across the top of the bookshelf to see, and then she's looking to see if it was dusty. Her son had dusted it, not me, because he knew how she was, and he was over there dusting away before she got there. I wouldn't have gave a damn. It's like, shit, you don't want it to be no dust on there, bitch. There's the dust thing. You have at it. I wasn't gonna be worried about it. But he was all paranoid, so he was dusting everything before she came. So she did her dust check, and it wasn't no dust. So then she set her ass down. I just wonder sometimes, what his childhood was like with her. Mm-mm-mm. Um, anything that you try to do rather, and you make a mistake at it, because To me, you don't grow unless you make a mistake. And if you don't, like I told you guys the other day, if you're not making no mistakes, that means you ain't doing shit. You just stand where it's safe. You just doing the same thing that everybody else did, the exact same way everybody else did it, because you know that that's the proven safety zone. You're not gonna veer left or right or try something, jump up or go down, because that's unexplored territory. You don't want to be the first one to do it, and you don't want to possibly fail. And so you don't do anything. You don't try anything new. Um, So you may try to, please this type of woman, this critical, ridiculing chick type of mama, and you try to be perfect for her, but it's never gonna. I mean, it's nothing you ever do is gonna be good enough. So you should may as well stop trying. But a lot of you, you don't figure that out until you're an adult, and some of you still haven't figured it out. So you're still trying to win your mother's approval, and she's still cutting you off at the knees every chance she gets. All right, let's talk about the third one. Why did I put bullets on this instead of numbers? That wasn't very smart, Deborah. Okay, controlling relationship. Let me put some numbers on here right quick because I messed this up all kinds of up. Hold on, you guys. All right. Number three, a controlling relationship. Now, these, when you got a mother who's a control freak, she's not going to pay any attention to what you like, what you want, what you don't like, what you think is going to be a benefit to you, what you like to do for fun. Nothing. None of that's going to matter to her. You going to do what she said because she knows best because she's your mama. And when you're young, you don't really know to argue too much about that. But whatever your likes or dislikes are, or whatever, she gonna tell you what you like. She gonna tell you what you don't like. She gonna tell you what you want to eat. She's gonna tell you, what you want to wear. She's gonna tell you everything. She's gonna eliminate choice. And they try to, make it sound good by saying, well, I'm only doing this because I love you. I only do this because it's for your own good. So see, you know what I mean? That sounds socially acceptable and it sounds good, but inside you're like bristling and you feel this frustration and this anger because you know what's really going on. She's just trying to control you, although she's trying to pretty it up and butter it up so that if you blow up at her, she's gonna be, well, I was just trying to be helpful. But you know that game. That's what they do, honey. That's Faith. You right. But I mean, it didn't come to that because he always did it before she came over. But I'm just saying, that's my thing. You come to my house if it's a mess and you don't like it, make the magic happen. Just don't touch nothing on my desk. But you can do anything else. Don't touch my desk though. We're gonna be fighting. Because it may look messy, but I know what each is in each stack, for different shows and stuff I'm researching. So don't touch my desk or you die. Now, some of these people, there's a name for these kind of mothers. They call them tiger moms. Have you heard of that phrase? Where they be on their kids like white on rice, they just never let up. They also call them helicopter parents. That was a common popular thing like in the late 90s, early 2000s or something. Where they just always hovering. The kid can't even fart because the parent is just right there smelling it. And it's like they just never let the kids even take a breath by themselves. They schedule every second of their child's time. Like sometimes kids just like to lay on the grass outside and stare at the clouds and pretend that it's different shapes and stuff. That is good as building the child's creative source, building their creativity. And they need that kind of downtime. But these parents don't give it to their kids. The kids are scheduled from the time they wake up in the morning until they go to bed. They are on a schedule with stuff that's orchestrated by their mother. The older children usually get controlled with money, right? And by the time they reach college, they really get controlled because you got to do the major they want you to do or they're not going to pay for it. You have to get, certain grades, which I guess is not bad since they're paying for it. But it's like all these things you have to toe this line. Otherwise, they threaten to yank that support away. And, you're going to have to do it on your own. Some kids opt to do that anyway, especially a lot of daughters do. They say, well, fuck all that. Let me go and get me a job and be free of you. But it seems like a lot more boys will be like, okay, mom, and just, do what she wants them to do. Um, yeah, so that's the controlling relationship. Some of you may recognize that. Then we move on to the abusive relationship. Now, this could include physical abuse, it could include verbal and emotional abuse, it could also be psychological intimidation, like, withholding love and affection and compassion and things like that. And it could also be sexual abuse. Remember Precious? Okay. Now, this one book I was reading, they were talking about um, the lawnmower parent. They're worse than the helicopter ones. That sounds horrible. That's like, oh, they be cutting you. Ew, that doesn't sound good at all. Um, there's active harm where the parent is actually doing something to hurt you, beating you, this kind of thing. There's inactive harm where they maybe neglect. It's what basically is harm in what they don't do. That's what it is. So they don't change the baby's diaper. They don't feed the little kids. Kids running through the neighborhood trying to get something to eat. Babies are, being left unsupervised at night because their mama want to run the streets and hip and hop, jump her butt around in a nightclub. So she leaves these little kids in the house by themselves. Just because they sleep, that's still not safe to do. Um, not giving them love and affection. The kids fall down and stuff. They reaching for their mother, and the mother slaps them away. Get out of here! Just I don't want to hear that crying. So the little kids, is not getting the comfort that they need. They're not getting the nurturing. They're in pain, and they're not getting anything from their mother. There's just a marked lack of empathy with this kind of mother, and she's just out to hurt you, and in any way possible, any way that she can get away with. Some of them just don't care. They like body slam the kids, beat them to the point where they have like open wounds. I mean, there it's just no telling what kind of twisted things happened to her in her childhood that she's bringing forth and putting it on yours. But this is something that came up. Some people mentioned that they had this kind of childhood with their mother, and so I've added it to my list. Number 5 is what I call the ninja assassin. Whoa, they sneak up on you. They do stuff like it's supposed to be fun, right? It's masked that it's going to be fun. But you notice that you're getting attacked and you're getting bullied and you're the brunt of all these jokes that they want to tell. And it's your mama doing it. They especially it's really bad when they do it in front of like you're a young lady, right? And she does it in front of men or boys or like your boyfriend or your friends from school or something. And like so, you like say you're a slow developer, very athletic, you don't have much body fat, so you don't have really much boobs, and you're 14, 15 years old. And then here comes your little friends over, and some little boy that likes you, and your mother comes out with, look at her all flat chested. Does she a member of the itty bitty titty committee? Why would you say something like that to your daughter in front of all her friends? See that kind of stuff. They just want to just cut you up, and but it's done in a way where you don't see it coming. It's just it slides in real slick, and then she's like, ah, 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 like it's funny, right? So then if you get upset, why did you say that, mother? Oh, you can't take a joke. You too serious. Blah blah blah. That's why I call it the ninja assassin, because it slides in. You don't see it coming, but it just goes and cut you up and leave you laying there dead. She made you show them to her, and the point of that was, what was that about? I hope you two were at least it happened alone where it's just the two of you. Please tell me nobody else was in the room. Oh boy. What was that? See what I mean? See what I mean? I don't understand this. I don't understand what these people be thinking. Because it doesn't matter. Okay, but I mean, just take you to get one. You don't need to be looking. I mean, you can see through the little girl, like her undershirt and stuff that she needs a little training bra or whatever. You don't need to be pulling off people's clothes. Oh boy. Okay, that's on my list too. Inappropriate, improper boundary violations. That definitely falls under that one. But I'll get to that in a minute. That's number 7. We still on number 5. Um, and it doesn't matter if you say stop or don't do that to me, don't talk to me like that, that kind of stuff. They do it anyway. You're a joke. Your hobbies are a joke. Your friends are a joke. Your taste in music is a joke. Everything she's gonna tease you about it, and it's always said in a way that's supposed to be funny, but the only one laughing is her, or maybe it's her evil friends. But it's definitely not you. You're the brunt of the joke, but it's not funny, and so you're feeling that pinch. All right, so let's move on to number six. Oh, and I wanted to add to that too. When you got a daughter who's a victim of this, these ninja assassin type of mamas, they're usually the ones that leave to go to college and never come back. They be up out the house and gone. And they just don't want nothing. I mean, they still associate with their mother and stuff, but it's different. They don't live with her and they're not subjected to her ways. The second she starts getting stupid, they get their car keys and they leave. All right, number six, the dismissive relationship. This is when you have a mother that's emotionally unavailable. You just feel kind of lost at sea. You don't feel that anchor, that tie, that closeness to her that you would want to feel. You're really not important to your mother, and you know that you're not important, probably because she's told you. So you kind of stay in the periphery of her life, in the shadows. You don't really make too many demands on her. You don't really ask her for anything. You don't really try to get too close to her because you already know it's not going to happen. You used to try to get her attention, but you gave up on all of that. Like when you were a little kid, you know how you run home excited, you made the little ashtray, or you know how little kids make that shit out of clay, and then you bring it home and you all excited, and she don't even look at it. She don't have time, or she's like, "What is that shit?" And as she turns back to the TV or back on the phone or whatever, so she never acknowledges your efforts, your creativity. I mean, it takes a parent what 60 seconds or so to put the kid in your lap. You got a kindergartner, first grader. You put them in lap. Oh, well, tell me how you made this. Let the little kid tell you. And then what is this part right here? How did you do that? Oh, really? Well, you did a great job. And then you give them their little raggedy shit back, and they go skipping off, and they put it somewhere so you can see it. And you look at it, and you smile, and you blow them a kiss and stuff. They go in their room, and they're happy. How long did it take me to do that? Less than a minute, right? But these parents will not even spare that for their child's future, mental health. It's really kind of sad. She just too submissive. She don't come to your art shows. She don't come to your recitals. She doesn't come to anything, your games and stuff. She's never your cheerleader. She's never a supporter. She just gone. She just dismisses you from her life. She takes care of you. I mean, she makes sure you got a roof over your head and food and clothes and stuff. But there's just nothing else being offered. Number seven. This was what ain't was there? Who was that? Lux was talking about a few minutes ago. Improper boundaries. You have a relationship that's full of improper boundaries. In these relationships, your mother violates boundaries for privacy, right and left. She goes through your phone. Might wear your clothes without permission with her old ass, squeezing in your little teenage clothes. She may read your diary. She may forbid you to lock the door when bathing or toileting or changing clothes, even if there are men in the household, which I just find that utterly amazing. Some women, if they feel like the daughter's acting up, they take the door off the hinges. So now these same boys and men don't even have to go to the door. They just walk right in the room. She may make inappropriately sexual comments in front of your friends or ask you extremely personal questions in front of them about things that you don't want them to know. Or she may do like Lux's mother did and just rip off your clothes and make you show her your tatas. Unbelievable. Number eight, you have reversed roles. Now, they talk about this a lot in code in like Al-Anon and stuff. The Alcoholics Anonymous treatment centers and stuff. They talk about these kind of reverse roles because the parent that's the alcoholic or the drug addict usually becomes like the child, and then the child becomes the adult, the parent figure. Responsible for taking care of this person while they're throwing up and sick. Make sure they go to the doctor. You know, just making sure they bathe, getting them stuff when they're sick in bed with their hangover. I mean, all kind of stuff. But this child takes on an adult responsibility for the parent when the parent is supposed to be the one taking care of the child. It's very sick. If that child is the oldest one, they very often will be tasked with taking care of the younger children, right? So you got a teenage girl, 14 years old or so, and she's got two, three, four younger siblings. Well, the mother's just gonna be laying in the bed drunk, right, and high or whatever, and then this girl is gonna be have to get up on her younger siblings, make sure they all dressed, get them to school, make sure they got their little lunches or whatever, their hair is combed, their teeth are brushed, and so she's taking on a mother role for these children. So what happens to her childhood? She has to grow up too fast. She's robbed of her childhood doing taking care of the responsibilities that the mother was supposed to do because they flipped roles. And a lot of these women, all they be doing is laying up having more damn babies. Just more babies, more babies, more babies, and dumping them on the teenage daughter who's like counting the days to when she can get up out of there. Sometimes when these kids grow up, the ones that she was taking care of, they will say that their big sister is like the mother that they never had. Their sister took care of them. She did all the work for them. And what's sad about it is once, you have a daughter who has this kind of role, she will tend to be she'll have that servitude kind of attitude in her other relationships with men. And then that gets kind of messed up. That gets real rough. So she carries that caretaking on, and then she wants to mother the men that she's in a relationship with because that's all she knows is being responsible for adults. And you, as the mama, did that to her. So you see how I'm relating all of this to a lot of the behavior that we see in relationships with women as adults. And it's like, where does that come from? This mammying thing and trying to take care of a grown ass man. Where does this come from? It comes from their childhood. They've been doing it all this time, so it's nothing to do it to another adult. They've been already been doing it for their parent. We have, okay, what else? Number 8. Okay. Oh God, why did I not number? It's 9, 10, and 11. Okay. Number 9, you have a best friend relationship with your mother. Now, a lot of people say, well, I was talking about this with a friend of mine today. She actually helped me with get all this organized today. So thank you, Inyasha. Um, a lot of people think that, being best friends with your mother is a good idea. It is a terrible idea. You can do that maybe when you're both adults and mothers. When, now your mother can be your best friend because now you guys are peers. She's still your mother, but you know what I mean? You're more on a peer level. When you are a teenage girl, you can't be best friends with your mama. And if that's what your mother's trying to get you to do, you need to make sure she hears this video because that is stifling your growth. Part of what you're supposed to be doing as a teenager is rebelling against your parents. This is part of your maturation process. You go through this separation process where you are becoming an adult or not a child. This is a very, very necessary developmental step. You cannot be best friends with your mother and successfully go through that because what are best friends? They pretty much agree on everything. You don't want to fight with your best friend. You don't want to hurt your best friend's feelings. You want to tell your best friend everything. That should not be happening if that's your mother. That there needs to be a separation. You two can be friendly. You can certainly have great relationship, but she should not be your best friend. You need a peer, someone who's going through the same thing you're going through, someone who is age appropriate and who has not no kind of relationship where they're responsible for you like your mother is. That's just something that's unsavory to me. That shouldn't be like that. You're gonna be, your growth is gonna be stifled by that because you're going to be trying to make sure you don't rock the boat and you please your mother like most children want to do, but that's not part of being a teen. Part of being a teen is being, just out there. I mean, you don't do it on purpose, but it just happens. Hormones are raging, you're trying to figure who you are and where you're going to be and what you're going to do, and that's all part of it. Rebelling wasn't allowed. How you going to stop it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of peeking at the chat, and I see I'm gonna have to go through and read it after the video finished processing because you guys are making some interesting observations here that I want to catch. All right, so that's my thing. Your daughter has established herself as a separate person with different likes, different interests, and things that you don't necessarily have to approve of. And she can't do that if you two are calling yourself best friends, because then you're gonna be like, oh, You shouldn't be doing that. And she's going to want to listen because you two are, quote, friends. Whereas if you just were parent child, she would be like, forget you, mom. This is part of my process to become a separate person from you. And so then she would go ahead and do it. And that's what she should be doing. And that's the age at which she should be doing it. Oh, boy. Okay, Alma. I can't get too much clearer than that. He's kind of going off in the chat. All right, number 10, the regret and blame relationship. Now, this is very interesting. This is where, your mama comes at you about, I mean, it's like her unfulfilled desires and her frustrations at not becoming the person that she wanted to be, not fulfilling her dreams and her goals. She takes it out on you. Now, sometimes it was because she was a young little teenager and she got pregnant at 15 or whatever. And then, so she had you at 16 or 17 or something. And so a lot of things that she, had planned for herself, she didn't get to do because she was somebody's mama. Well, girlfriend, you had these dreams and shit, maybe you should have strapped up, or maybe you should have not done that. With that, you shouldn't have been dating. There's a whole bunch of things you shouldn't have done, but you definitely should not be blaming the baby that didn't ask to be here, who is now growing up, and it's trying to make it her fault that you messed up your life. You did that to yourself. That was your choice. You should have got an abortion then. I mean, or use birth control or something. Why are you taking that out on your daughter? You're angry because you didn't get to do what you wanted to do. You should have planned better. You should have handled your business better than that. But that's what they do. They make you the scapegoat. Everything is wrong because of you. Well, if I hadn't had you, I would be blah, blah, blah. Took all my money. I had everything I wanted. I tried to do stuff I couldn't do it because of you. I couldn't get a babysitter because of you. Whatever it was, it's somehow your fault. And you notice too that sometimes girls, like, even if it's in a family, you're the first one, right? She decided to keep having kids, although she mad about you. Okay, why you keep, you see one mistake, why you keep compounding the error? But they do. And then something happens, right? And you get punished for what you did extremely harshly, extremely harshly. And I don't know why they do that too. Your mother's mad because she looks at you, right? You're delaying being a mother, which gives you the time to what? Complete your education, start the career of your dreams, rise up, buy a home, get your passport working, have excellent credit, be able to do whatever you want to do. You got a nice ride, you got, credit cards galore, you plop it down, you buy some plane tickets, you have freedom to do whatever you want to do because you're not saddled down by a baby like she saddled herself. And not only is it envy, they're envy there, but they're also envy of the time change where now you get to freely explore your sexuality if you so choose, and really not to be too bothered about somebody telling you what you should and shouldn't do. I mean, people still do it, but women are a lot tougher now. They don't really worry about all these labels people want to put on them. So, her attitude gets really sour towards you, and it's like it's misdirected. She should be directing that at herself. She's making it sound like that you kept her from doing those things when you was a baby. You didn't know nothing about nothing. She did that to herself. And me, I'd be the evil bitch to remind her that when she got started with that bullshit. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Was I the building in the bed fucking making babies? You did that to yourself. So don't be mad at me. You know, I wouldn't have known the difference if you got an abortion. You should have handled your business and made your dreams come true. But you want to have a fucking baby, so now you got one. What you want me to do? You need to just suck it up. You still want to go do them things and get busy. You ain't dead yet, so you still got time. That would be me. All right, then let's move on to number 11. The closed relationship. The closed relationship is full of denials and secrets and lies. This is the family that says, oh, what happens here stays here. They don't talk about controversial things. They don't, nobody trusts anybody. There's no exchange of feelings. It's like everybody in the house is a freaking zombie, just walking around, zip, nothing, no, nothing that would make a human connection. Just very closed off, emotionally unavailable. So the kids are told not to trust anybody outside the family, even though the people in the family might be the very ones molesting them. And that teaches the children very poor communication skills, and social interacting skills are pretty much null. You hear this denial of facts can be hiding things, which a lot of families talk about. People knew that Uncle Joe was a serial child molester, been one since he was in his early 20s. He just gone through the family. Everybody hides it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to call the police on him. So it's just like this big family secret, and they just tell you, oh, you should just kind of stay away from him. But they don't tell you why, because it's a big secret. And then I saw a video the other day with this girl who was telling her mother how her boyfriend had come into her room again the night before, and the mother, instead of wanting to jam up the dude, starts attacking the girl. Well, you wearing them shorts around here and all this old stuff. And I mean, the video, the girl cut it off so you could see the mother from like here down. You couldn't see her face, and the girl never showed her face. But the venom that came from this mother. Well, he's a good man. He paid for all this stuff around here. This and that. But okay, but what does that have to do with him coming in your daughter's room? You need to check that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But she just started being. She went on to decide of being afraid that the man was gonna leave her more than she worried about what he was doing in her daughter's room. You see what I mean? And this was on the tape. I had to watch it 3 times. I was so disgusted. And of course, they were black, and I was just so through, just so through. How you gonna do that? So that's the closed relationship type of mother. She didn't necessarily do the violating herself, but she's closed off to doing anything that would help ameliorate the problems that her young daughter is facing with a grown man that this woman brought in the house, or any other problems that your teen may have. You just leave the kid, just throw them out, to deal with it by themselves. And then the last one is the checked out parent. I kind of briefly talked about this. These are the ones that are, they're emotionally unavailable and sometimes physically unavailable as well. These may be drug addicts, they may be, jailbirds, and women who chase men all the time. So those women, they're not focused on their children, they focus on the next dick they're going to be getting and keeping the dick around and getting some new dick if that one left. So these parents will set their kids up so that the children will often go to school hungry. They'll go to school dirty. They'll go to school with their hair uncombed because they're too little to do this stuff themselves. I mean, they know how to fix a bowl of cereal or something, but they're small. They're not going to necessarily know how to use the washing machine and all that stuff. So they're going to wear clothes that probably should have been washed already. They might not be the best at bathing themselves. 8, 9 years old. I mean, they're kind of half. They can do it, but you got to like, did you get your ears? Did you brush your teeth? You got to still remind them at that age. But they're going to school, and they're smelly, and their clothes are dirty, and they look unkempt, and they might not have any food, because you didn't go grocery shopping because you was too busy, you know, doing your drugs or whatever you was doing. And so the kids are just pretty much on their own. Sometimes these mothers, they could have other kind of addictions besides drug. It could be gambling that takes them away, overnight until they lose everything. And it could be, sex addictions, um, or alcohols or drugs. It could also be a dysfunctional situation because the parent is so checked out, they just leave the kid, and so the kid is just fending for themselves. They're in a house a lot of times by themselves, which leaves them unprotected. If people in the neighborhood see that you're always gone and this kid is always coming and going by herself to and from school, well, I mean, that's just a victim just waiting to be victimized, and you would have done that. So it's very frightening for little kids to be by themselves like that at home by themselves. But a lot of parents do that because they're the checked out parents, like I said. Your cousin acted surprised. I'm just like, yeah, mental illness too. You're right. Thank you for that. That's another thing that makes them be checked out. She's right. So, to reiterate, when a girl's growing up, her mother serves as a primary example of how to be first a girl, how to be a woman, how to be a friend, how to be a, girlfriend and or wife in a relationship, and how to conduct yourself out in the world. If your mother is not setting a prime example for you of how to do those things, or at least how to strive to learn how to do those things, because some mothers, they start behind the eight ball themselves. They don't really know all these things, but they're trying to learn, and they bring you along with them on the journey. As they learn stuff, they're teaching you. Because, a lot of these women, like I said, they're only 15, 16 years older than their children. And so they're kind of growing up together. And as long as her mind is right, that can happen. And the mother and daughter can be very successful and happy in life. And that girl, will feel loved and cared for and taken care of and everything by her mother. So age isn't really the thing that really makes a difference. It's the mindset of the woman. And a lot of that is based on how her mother treated her. But I did read today, I got an email from a young woman, and she was talking about how her mother was with her, but she put the brakes on that stuff. So she changed everything up so that from with her daughter, that train stopped. That train is ended. So she's making a conscious effort to stop the negativity and the abuses and the problem relationship like she had with her mother and her mother had with her mother. She says, I don't want that for my daughter. I'm not going to let that happen. It was on one of the slides. And it was good to see that she was so conscious, and she had, even though she got married really young, she was taking charge of her life and making sure that her baby was not going to be suffering like she did. And I had nothing but, you get two thumbs up, girlfriend, for that. I like it when women get their mama bear on and they like, shit, fuck that shit. That's not going to happen to my baby. I don't know whose baby it's going to happen to, but it ain't going to be here, not with this one. Okay. So, these are some things that you want to think about. This is what you want to think about. That's the stuff that we talked about today. How you can use any negative experiences. It looks like there was a lot of them shared in the chat. There were some shared on the slides that I played for you. How you can use these negative experiences that you had with your mother as opportunities for growth rather than continued disappointment and pain. Okay, so this requires thought. You know how I love to give you our homework. And you can write these questions down and think about them. This is not anything that you have to answer right now. You will probably have to think about this for weeks and weeks. The second one is, what is the most important lesson that she's taught you over the years? Now, it could be a lesson that you learned from negative things, or it could be a lesson that you learned from positive things, or maybe one of each. You know what I mean? That might be good too. One of each. One thing that you learned from the negative behavior she had, and one thing that you learned from the positive behavior that she had. But these should be things that you learned that are going to be beneficial with you. Do not focus on negative bullshit. Focus on something that's going to help you grow and become the woman that you want to be, and the woman who's going to be living your best life. Remember, we're focusing on positive things. I don't want you guys focusing on negative stuff. We have to talk about the negative stuff, because to me, it's like having a wound. If you cover it up and pretend like it's not there, it's never going to heal. You got what helps things heal is cleaning out the wound so it doesn't get infected. That may hurt. It may sting. It's not gonna be the most comfortable thing, but you got something you gotta do. And then you expose it to light and air. It will scab over, and then the scab will fall off, and you'll have fresh skin, and then before you know it, you'll be completely healed. It's much the same with how you're gonna heal your psyche and your heart after being, with a mother like these, with having these problems that we discussed tonight. The third thing is to think about the ways that you identify with your mother. That may not all be bad, because I mean, even in situations like, to say your mother, was the checked out parent, well, from that you learn to be very independent and take care of yourself at a young age. So, you're quite competent in that respect. You can, do a lot of things even though you may be young yourself. You see what I mean? So there's sometimes they say, you got lemons, make lemonade. Kind of that situation. That's what want you to look at. Okay, well, this is what happened. This was not good, but this is what that I can benefit from it. This was a benefit I pulled out of that situation. Okay. And the fourth one is things that you most admire about your mother, which you do want to keep and maybe pass along to your own daughter. Okay. And then the last one is things that you shared, activities that you two shared together, and the ways that those memories, the memories of those occasions, events, whatever, um, still, move you in a positive, loving way. So think about those things. Those are five, that's your five homework lessons. And, you guys think about that. You don't have to share it with me if you don't want to. Of course, I'm nosy as hell. So you can just say, Deb, I did that homework. And these are the five questions you asked. And these are my five answers. And then you can email it to me. And then we go back and forth in the email. And I'll be like, girl, yes. Okay? You know my email, survivingdating@gmail.com. That's where you send stuff. Now, what can you do? What is this? What can you do to make sure to try to repair your relationship? What can you do? Are there some things that you can do? My assistant, my able-bodied assistant, put together a list of 10 things for me. Ooh, this typing is small. Okay, let's see if I can read this. Um, to remember that your mother is not a lifeboat. Mom's not a lifeboat. Allow your daughter to fall down and learn to pick herself up without your help. So that's not being a helicopter mother. That's just sitting back, just letting the kid fall down in the sandbox, slide down the slide and bump their head, fall down the stairs, they'll live. Scrape a knee, fall off the bicycle, skin themselves up, they'll live. These are all things that children are, makes them tougher. Makes them not be such a wussy, little sissy girl. You want your daughter to be tough. She's gonna have to be tough to be out here dealing with these nignogs and these crazy people in corporate America. Any job, people are crazy, and they always talking some shit and always starting to start some shit. So your daughter's got to be prepared. Um, yeah, you don't want your daughter running to you for everything. Like, oh, I got to ask my mama. My mama. And you 35? Bitch, sit down some damn where. Your mother, she's not be you. I mean, you could kind of consult with your mother for big stuff. I would suppose that might be get her buy-in or whatever. I watched that show on the video today, the dress, yes to the dress or something. I don't know how this popped up on my thing, but it started playing. So it was like a 15-minute thing. I watched it, and these mothers were just so like, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. I'm like, are you gonna be wearing it? What difference does it make if you like it or not? But I just was observing, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And so they're looking for their mother's approval for their wedding dress. I thought that was so bizarre. I picked my own, and nobody told me shit. Number two, a relationship is a two-way street. You don't want your mother to be the one calling all the time. You call her. Make an effort to you reach out to take her out somewhere. You guys sit down and talk, just the two of you. Maybe, ooh, what was that? Maybe go on an overnight trip somewhere. A spa is always a good place to go. A lot of stuff. You all can get them dual massages and mud baths and rock massages and all this stuff. Girls, they get your hairs and your nails done and stuff, a pedicure. I mean, that stuff is nice and it's very relaxing. And that might be a nice thing for you and your mother to do. To try to find some common ground. There's no room for competition there. You two, you know what I mean? It's not an environment where there would be any need to compete or to fight or to argue about anything or try to one up somebody or be jealous. None of that. It's like a calm, even, just a real cool environment. If you have that kind of money, but a lot of times they have specials, especially around Mother's Day. Those places offer discounts and specials, twofers and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that kind of thing. And if you can take advantage of it, do that and try to set something up with your mother, you know. You don't want to avoid conflict, but neither do you want to feed into it. Like if she's getting out of pocket, you definitely want to explain to her how she's getting out of pocket and how you're an adult now and that's not appropriate behavior and that's not acceptable behavior and you're not going to accept it. So, you have to remind people sometimes that you're not a little kid anymore. I had to check my auntie like that. Talking to me all kind of crazy, and I had to tell her about herself. I hated to do it, you just like that's one of my elders, but she was just like getting totally out of line, and so I had to remind her, I'm a grown woman now. I'm not that little 12-year-old anymore, and so you need to watch how you talk to me. You need to watch your tone, because what you're doing right now is not, I'm not going to accept that. And so she was just like, oh, oh, it was a new place, girl. Lux is cracking me up over here. She, yeah, I did that too. Where was I? Oh, up in Oakland at the Fairmont. Wait, what's it called? Anyway, it's that big white hotel. You know, they have a spa there and stuff. And so I went there. I took myself to a spa weekend up there. Why did I do that? I walked in there and they have like, it's just all women. I mean, at this time now, you never know, you know what I mean? Because you don't know, they be folks were trying to pretend they women and coming in them kind of spaces. I'm not down with that shit, but whatever. But at this time, it was only women. Everybody had a coochie. And so you go up in there, and then they had like this pool, and they want you to get in the pool, and you in the pool butt ass and naked, and they want you to do that before you get your massage. You take like a shower, then you take a dip in this pool, and then you get out and dry off, and then you go in this room and they do the massage. So in there with all these misbuilt, middle-aged people, and that's when I was working as a trainer, so my body was like hella tight, even for my age then. And so they were all looking, and I was like, oh boy, this is kind of embarrassing. I don't, I'm not, I only have brothers, so I'm not, my sister's like a half sister. I didn't really see her that much. And so in my household, it was just me and my mother. And so with all them dudes around, you know what I mean? We didn't walk around showing anything. I always had on my pajamas in the bathroom and, the door. They, no, it was just very, no nakedness was going on in my household, but not with me anyway. And so, I'm not used to that kind of thing. So I was like, I'm with you, Luxie. Awkward. I know exactly what you mean. And had my mother been there, that would have been like, let's just go. I don't think I would have been able to do it because I would have been all like, I don't want to see you like that. Oh my God, that's too funny. Number four, don't try to change your mother. Don't try to change it. But likewise, don't let her put pressure on you to change you either. Shut up, Ash. I don't know these people. These people just fell into the chat room from Mars or somewhere. I don't know where they came from. And they in there and they clowning. They clowning. I don't know where they came from. Oh, you just didn't look? How you not gonna look? I know 'cause I don't see you. I don't see you. Yeah, I mean, it was like, it was like three brothers and my dad. It was just me and my mother. So it was like that would have been very awkward. And plus, my brothers are like kind of prudish like that. They're like, I don't want to see that. I mean, I guess they didn't want to get any, confused about looking at their girlfriends and future wives and all their booty calls and stuff with their sister. And I could understand that. She was right beside me. How you not gonna look? You just looking up at the ceiling. Yeah, mom. This is too funny. I don't know. This is just making me laugh. Imagining her going through all this discomfort and her mother, they sitting up there butt ass naked trying to act like they're not. This is like an emperor's new clothes. Oh, this is just killing me laughing. I can't stop giggling. Oh, all right. Number five, know the right amount of time to spend together. Too little, you get too distant. Too much, you really will probably start to get on each other's nerves and start hating her. So, you want a little balance. Try to do a little bit more than what you used to if you guys have been a little estranged and try to, get things back on track. Like I said, I think an activity is a great icebreaker versus just saying, oh, I'm going to come over or come over here. Or yeah, I know you dying laughing. This shit is hilarious. Or I don't know. Even if she likes doing stuff like bowling or something, I don't know. I'm just coming out with someone, but it's better than like sitting at a restaurant where you just nothing to do and you just sitting there looking at each other. You want to think of some stuff where you guys are doing something. Even if she likes gambling, you could go to a casino, like get on a bus, go on a bus trip up to Reno or something, or Atlantic City if you're on the East Coast, and They have the Indian casinos out here. Let her play some card games, some slot machines or something, root her on and everything. Y'all eat a little food or whatever, talk about the gambling, get your asses back and go back home. But I think doing activities would be a great icebreaker if you've had this kind of problematic relationship with your mother. You definitely want to set boundaries. Um, it's like I said, let just reinforce rules that you understand that she doesn't understand that she's not going to be talking to you any kind of certain way. The stuff that she used to do to you when you were a kid is null and void now. That's not that. We're not going to have that. You are going to talk to me respectfully. I will address you the same way, and we're going to try to deal with each other like adults. If I've done anything to insult you or hurt your feelings in the past, I do want to apologize for it. She should be doing the same to you, and then you guys, carry on like adult women. You don't want to blame and guilt trip each other. None of that. Well, you should have listened. You made me feel like that. Let it go. If you need to talk about the past like that, go see a shrink. If you want to heal the relationship with your mother, there's gonna be a whole bunch of shit that you gotta let go. It's just like rehashing old stuff over and over and over again. It never works. It never gets you anywhere. Um, Work on yourself. You think that the way to improve a relationship is for the other person to change. You want to fix them. They're the one that's wrong. They're the one that messed up. They need to change. Well, change yourself. If you change yourself, other people have no choice but to change because you've changed. They have to change along with you, at least in the way that they interact and deal with you. They will have no choice. They will have no choice. Um, and then have realistic expectations. Don't think that because you're making this effort that everything's going to be like in the movies. You guys are going to hold hands and skip off into the sunset like in Casablanca, walking into the fog. Like what's his name said in Brown Sugar, with another dude, another, with another dude. But you know what I mean. It's like they're walking into the fog and it's all mysterious and whatnot. It's not going to be like that. The best you can hope to do is so that you can get things on an even keel, because what you want to do is, if you can, by the time the senior dies, you want to have buried those hatchets so that she can go on wherever she's going with her mind clear, and you can be clear that when she's gone you don't have to sit there rehashing for the rest of your life, being guilting yourself with shoulda woulda couldas. Okay, just do it now. Do it now. Start doing it now. No, beautiful orchid, I refuse to be one. I don't want a license. Because as soon as you have a license to do anything, I could be a psychologist, but I'd have to get licensed, take a test. I don't want to. I don't want to. So these are my tips on how you can have a better mother-daughter relationship. Take these tips. Like I said, you probably have to listen to this because I gave you a lot of information. You got your homeworks here and then the list of the types of relationships. There were some great slides. Um, some great slides that with they were speeding by like they was running a race. I don't know what she was doing. That was funny. But, you might want to take a look at those and see if you can identify with any of those women as well. But the main thing is to do the 5-point homework assignment. Like I said, if you would like to share it with me, I would be happy to read what you have to say and help join you on your road back to discovery of self. Just send me an email. It's survivingdating@gmail.com. Let me type it in here. So my email for the show and for my website. And just share your thoughts with me, and the results of your homework and what you think about the show and about the relationship with your mother. I'm not expecting everybody to put everything here in the chat room because of the fact that it is a public thing and this will be up on YouTube. But there's something that you'd like to share, get my thoughts on, privately, feel free to send me an email, and share your thoughts and what you think, whatever. But this was good. This was really good. What do we have coming up? Hold on, let me look. Tomorrow is the 22nd. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll be back. We got a live stream on Friday nights. We got a live stream on Saturday, and we got a live stream, I think, on Sunday too. Yeah, it's four in a row again. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about when is enough enough. Y'all just want to hang on and on and on and on and on and on, trying to make it work. And we talked about knowing your dating limits and deal breakers, but that's talking about dating. That's how when you first meet somebody, whether you're going to continue dating them or whether you're going to cut them off. Okay, that was that. That was on the ninth. This is when you're already in the relationship. You see that there's problems. You see that it's not working. I don't know what y'all be looking at. You saw the letters come in the vice so I call them on What the Fuck Tuesday. Every other letter, I'm like, get rid of that fool. Get rid of that fool. And they're not doing it. They're just in the relationship. I don't get it. But that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night. Have your wine ready. I'm going to be having mine. And then on Saturday afternoon, we got another live advice question and answer thing. So you come with your questions. I'll be answering them live on the air. And then on Sunday, we're going to be talking about men and trying to figure out if your man is an emotionally bankrupt narcissist. That's Sunday's show. So then we've got, just 4 more days after that for the rest of what the fuck. Um, Not what am I saying? Debruary, video a day, Debruary, and we're winding down. Thursday's the last day, and I do hope you guys can join me next week, and we'll knock this out the park. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope that this was beneficial for you. It's kind of a tough topic. I understand that. Brought up a lot of feels for people and that they were struggling with. But we'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with a little bit more, just more discussion and investigation and what makes you the woman that you are and why you make the choices that you make. You can visit me on the blog at survivingdating.com. There's tons of articles there if you want to take a break from videos and read something. It's more than 500 articles there. And then my books are all available on amazon.com. I will see you tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's 9 if you're on the East Coast. Be here.